Getting this video filmed without catastrophe has been an accomplishment. Welcome back. We're gonna hope this time goes a lot smoother than the two other times that I have tried to film this video, and now that I see myself in the viewfinder, I'm looking a hot mess. This video has been a hot mess. I just need to discuss that really fast. I tried to film this like 4 days ago, and we had a person pull in my driveway and lay on their horn. My dog locked me in the bathroom. My dog went berserk in the background. Every 2 seconds, my camera was falling down. It was a mess. But we're just gonna jump right into it with my recent reads that I actually have not been keeping up with, just so everybody knows. I have not at all been doing monthly wrap-ups. We're just gonna go with this because, you know, monthly wrap-ups are a lot of pressure apparently, and I'm a mood reader, and like when I know I have a time constraint, it doesn't get done. So we're just gonna roll with it. So the first book that I have here, which I only have a stack of 3 because I was not on my A game. Last time was only 4, so like we're getting somewhere, I guess, but you know. So the first book I read was The Extraordinary Secrets of April, May, and June by Robin Benway. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably remember me reading this and the cute picture of my dog licking the book. Not licking it, but like sniffing it or whatever. And Robin Benway commented, so that was fun. But I picked up this book and left the price tag on it, thinking that it was going to be like a really cute, like contemporary story, maybe like something. And I got something totally different than what I was expecting. It was still a contemporary story, and it was still pretty cute. It was more of like a coming of age story with these 3 sisters, with a little bit of like magical realism involved in it, because all of them have a power. June can read minds, May can disappear, April sees the future. It's pretty wild. All of this happens in the very beginning of the book, so like I'm not spoiling anything. It felt a little flat to me, honestly. Like I felt like 75% of the book was literally just dialogue between the sisters, and all the chapters interchange between the 3 sisters' point of views, and I honestly just felt like I was reading pointless dialogue throughout the majority of the book. The ending kind of saved it, and it all kind of come together, but it was a lot of confusion. I didn't understand where the story was going, because I was like halfway through the book and I was like, why am I still reading dialogue? And I have no idea why I'm reading dialogue. Like there was really not a lot to it. So I gave this one 3 stars. It was definitely was not my favorite, but it wasn't the worst that I've read this year. And then the next one definitely was not my favorite of the year. It was Apologies That Never Came by Pierre-Alex Jeanty. And if you have heard of him, you probably saw him on Instagram. He does a lot of Instagram style poems, and he advertises his books on Instagram a lot, which I read one of his other works, which was Her, volume 1, not that long ago, like maybe last year, and I loved it, thought it was really good. This one fell a little flat to me. It was not my favorite, and that could have been my own mistake, because I tried to just read it like reading instead of just like enjoying the poems, and it was not a time. But it wasn't terrible. The poems were not terrible. There were some good ones in here. I wasn't loving it how I expected to love it, and maybe I just had too high of expectations. But I gave this a 2 stars out of 5. And then the last one I read, I flew through it, and it was Scare Me by K.R. Alexander. It's a middle grade horror, spooky, whatever novel, and I read it with spooky season in mind. Peep my background, hope you love my shower curtain. And it's not very big at all, and I flew through it. I was like lighting my candles, had my little twinkle lights in my room, had Halloween instrumental music playing, and I devoured this. It was definitely very cheesy towards the beginning and the end, but the middle was pretty good. So to be a middle grade book, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because it was actually pretty good to be middle grade in my opinion. However, I obviously am too old to read it. But it's about this guy named Kevin, or this kid named Kevin, who participates in the town's haunted house fundraiser every year. I could not think of that word. But he participates in the town's fundraiser, and him and his 2 friends create this haunted house, and it's in a really old house that the town has bought, and it's a whole thing. It's really cool. They have a lot of fun with it. However, last year he did not win because of something that happened with another team member. But this year he's determined to win, which causes a lot of turmoil between him and his friends, and it was a really cute little adventure. And I have a couple other of K.R. Alexander's books, and I'm definitely going to try to give them a read before spooky season is over. So that was all the books that I've read recently. It was not a strenuous amount, nothing crazy. I have a couple others that I'm working on, so I hope to see you again soon, and maybe I'll have another fun background.